John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it done like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Coach, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear in my fam way, and I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it now, I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen them down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a meal, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it now, I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
Please stand clear of the closing doors, please. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Frankie Candles live stream right here at 5. Hang on one second, guys. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, we got an amazing show for you tonight as Bitcoin is basically in the same exact spot that it was on Friday. But we're going to be breaking down the fresh price action for you guys. We're going to be taking a look at some key levels, and I want to give you guys my thoughts on the future of Bitcoin moving into this next trading week. And guys, are we potentially seeing that inverse head and shoulders ready to play out? Or is it more likely that that money flow is going to come on down into the red and absolutely dump the market? As you guys know, hashtag stonks. GME or GameStop is absolutely ripping right now. Shout out to Roaring Kitty. Shout out to Roaring Kitty. I honestly don't know the full story here, guys. Apparently, Roaring Kitty is back, and GME or GameStop is absolutely ripping. The meme stocks are ripping. The meme coins are starting to pump as well. Could this be showing a little bit of interest in finally moving Bitcoin up a little bit here? We're going to be taking a look at the charts, and I'm going to let you guys know what I'm looking at, and if I think we're going up or if it's all just hype, and we're going to absolutely dump. So buckle up, guys. It's going to be an amazing live stream. Shout out to Dave Digital. Thank you so much for that super chat. He said, hey, Frank, we're ready to long Matic. Excuse me. Shout out to Dave Digital. Said, hey, Frankie, are we ready to long Matic again? Well, hey, Dave, we're going to have to add a shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Let's go ahead and add Matic to the altcoin list. Number one, we'll take a look at Matic, and we'll have to answer Dave Digital's question. Excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead and like his super chat here. But guys, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto. We give away a whole lot of free crypto on Friday, as well as some Frankie Candles hats. So if we get 550 likes on tonight's live stream, I will add another free Frankie Candles hat giveaway to this Friday's giveaways. And speaking of giveaways, shout out to Golden. Let's go. Hang on one second, guys. I'll be right back. Shout out to Golden. Let's go. Thank you for gifting those memberships. Let's get it. Finally, we got the light effects back, guys. Let me see if I even remember how to do this. But shout out to Golden. Thank you for gifting those 20 Frankie Candles memberships. I know YouTube blocked you, which doesn't surprise me because they're probably like, what the heck is going on with this guy giving away all this money to the Candle Mafia? Who is the Candle Mafia? We are being investigated by YouTube. I'm just kidding. And 50 Frankie Candles memberships. Unbelievable. Golden starting off this week absolutely insane with those 50 Frankie Candle. Really, 70. Yo, they are actively being gifted right now. I think that's 70 or something like that. Shout out to Golden, and shout out to anybody who just got a free Frankie Candles membership. Literally, Golden. It's slowly counting up the new members here on the metrics, probably because there's not enough people in the live right now without a membership to get them. But I guess as people flood in, they will get those memberships. So if you just got a green name, if your name just magically turned green, go ahead and thank Golden and spam that golden emoji. And let's start one of those golden waterfalls that we all love. Shout out to Golden. And another 50. Golden, what the heck is going on right now? Golden. What is going on? Shout out to you, bro. Oh, dude, what is going on? Why are we gifting so many memberships? Shout out to Golden. Spam that golden emoji right now, guys. I want to see nothing but the golden emoji. I guess he got blocked last week, so he's making up for it this week. Unbelievable. You absolute legend. Unbelievable. He said, happy Monday. Shout out to Golden. I'd love to see what happens on like a holiday or something, but shout out to Golden. Drop those emojis, and without further ado, while that's getting sorted out and people are getting free memberships and it's a party in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and jump on into the charts and start spitting some value. I don't know why I hit the wrong button, guys. But I'll start spitting some value. We'll take a look at the charts, take a look at those key levels, and start breaking down this price action. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys, on the Bitcoin chart. And yes, I did just change charts. Yo, chat going ballistic right now. But let's go ahead and dive in here, guys. Now, as you know, we have been looking at the charts in two contexts here. And I want to go ahead and break those down really quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and hide this lower range. And I want to talk about this upper range really quick, right? Now, obviously, to be quite frank with you guys, no pun intended, not much has really happened here on Bitcoin, right? Like, literally, we were here, on Friday. We were here. Now we're here. We're literally in the same exact spot. This is some of the most boring Bitcoin price action that we have had in quite some time. However, if you guys have been watching the live streams, you will know we've been keeping our eye on these inverse head and inverse head and shoulders that is potentially forming here. Could this be the start of a much bigger breakout to give us a move back up to the highs here, targeting about $73,000 or potentially even a little bit higher? I know that is a little bit of a wonky measured move to pull there. I don't recommend you measure your moves like that, but for the most part, guys, we do have our left shoulder here, our head, and our right shoulder. Could this be the potential start of a bigger move to the upside? And to that, I will say it's hard to say, because as we take a look at Market Cypher here, guys, obviously the money flow is coming into the red here. We did not get that money flow fake out. And is it, I would go ahead and say that there is no longer a money flow fake out here. It doesn't guarantee that we're going to get a bigger downtrend, but I will say really what I was hoping for here as far as the money flow fake out would have been something like this, where we dip into that red and then almost immediately just reverse right back into the green here. And then obviously you can see we have spent a little bit of time in the red. So at this point, although this money flow crossover into the red didn't really give us that big of a dump, if we do wind up just coming back up here, I wouldn't even really call it a fake out. It would just be kind of like a short money flow wave. So with that being said, we do actually still have a potential fake out incoming on the 2-day time frame here, guys. And I talk about this. I have been talking about this forever recently, every single live stream, because there's literally nothing else to look at. We just talk about this money flow and where we are in the market, and how this money flow is likely to fake out back into the green. And this is kind of where we go back into 2020, right? We try to find out, a similar area in the market that we were at, and we always compare the price action to this right here, where you see the 2-day money flow came out and then came back into the green and then faked out back towards the zero line and then back into the green. And we're just in that time where that may be likely. And to be honest with you guys, that's the only reason why I'm even interested in potentially looking at this inverse head and shoulders to play out, would be like we would need that money flow fake out, right? Now, the one thing that I can say here is on the 6 hour, as well as Shout out to Gary Doge. I don't know what this is in context to, but he just said, I'm being judged by my looks. Shout out to you, bro. I will never judge you by your looks. I don't even know what that's in reference to, but shout out to you. I just looked over as the first thing I saw. But you can see here on the 6-hour money flow coming back into the green here. Even on the 5-hour, we have had a nice little fresh money flow crossover. And this is, even the 8-hour, like not really coming up towards the zero line, but we are starting to tick up locally here. Things are still washed out, guys. I will say, this inverse head and shoulders, if we're going to get a big move to the upside, we definitely need to get this inverse head and shoulders to play out, and that would actually start off with holding this value area low as support, which again is that same exact level that we've been looking at for months, right? And if we're able to hold above this level, I will anticipate I will just be trading this as a volume profile, looking for price to go back to the POC, flip that to support, and then potentially look for a move back up to your value area high. And there are some other key levels of resistance that we need to get above here, and I'm going to talk about those in just a second. But on top of that, I also want to talk about that line in the sand that we talked about all last week, but I'm going to bring it up again because it's a new trading week, and I want to make sure everybody has these fresh levels. And I want to talk about that line in the sand that we need to lose before getting that much bigger move to the downside, potentially anticipating a move into our next key level, which will be between that $51,000 and $52,000 level, and then, with the not the caveat, but with the added addition of this little high volume node at around 54.5, as we do have a little spike in volume here. But for the most part, I guess I'll just talk about this right now. For the most part, guys, I will be honest, if we do wind up getting a bigger move to the downside, I will say this Fibonacci, I mean, you looked at this last week, right? Like, this Fibonacci retracement is going to be absolutely key, right? Because if we pull our fib from this low all the way to the high here, and we do get another move back to the downside, and we are unable to hold this golden pocket or this 786, this is the level that I am looking at. And to be a little bit more specific, I mean, I'll just say it the way I understand it, right? Or the way I interpret it, right? If we lose this 786 and we cannot get back above it, this is really that key level that, if lost, I think makes it very likely for us to fall through this low volume gap back into this next key level of support. Now, again, guys, the being able to call for this move down is very hard, right? And I will say my general sentiment right now is somewhat sideways, kind of just neutral, right? Because again, I was talking about the premium Discord earlier today, and we are still chopped up. This is an extremely choppy market, as it has been. Other than the range trades, it's a very choppy market, and I am not necessarily trying to snipe the bottom or snipe the top of the next big move right now. I am simply zooming in, finding my context to trade the sideways ranges. But for the most part, guys, that 786 at $58,376 is going to be absolutely key. We lose this level, very likely that we're going to get that move down to our next key level. However, you have to understand that, the real level is these lows, right? Like, once we break these lows, that's really the line in the sand, right? Once you cross that, that's probably when you're going to get the bigger move to the downside. But based off the Fibonacci retracements, once we start losing that 786, it's very likely, we're going to lose these lows and come lower, very likely, right? Unless we come in and do like a little fake out, we just get a wick down, and then we get a close above it and we get a move up. Once you lose that 786, very likely that we crack these lows, put in the lower low, and then get a move down to our next key level of support. And basically, guys, money flow on the daily would definitely be in line with this occurring, right? Now, again, I am neutral right now. I am going to show on tonight's live stream, I'm going to show the bearish case. I'm going to show the bullish case because I am simply neutral. I am long and short at the same time. So I am going to, I do have a little bit more of a neutral view on things right now. But the bearish case, to be honest with you, as far as market cipher, unless we get that money flow fake out, market cipher is binarily pointing towards more downside. But that doesn't mean that the indicator can't fake out, especially with where we are in the market right now. It wouldn't be unlikely to get a fake out. And as we see GME stonks, as we start to see GameStop start to rip, some of the meme coins are starting to rip as well. I know Pepe is up a big time right now. So, is this showing like more buying interest? Has the bottom come in here at about 56.4 potentially? And to be honest, if it is, in hindsight, if we do get get that bigger move to the upside, this head and shoulders will be able to go back and say, hey, that head and shoulders did wind up playing out. But I want to be clear, I am not trading just solely based off the head and shoulders. You guys know I don't trade the patterns for one very specific reason, and that is because the patterns are not that reliable, right? The patterns are really nice when you're starting to get into trading. It's not that you can't trade patterns profitably. People do it, but the simple answer is price does not move based off of a pattern it's making, right? The price does not know it's making an inverse head and shoulders here, but rather this is just a way to describe price action, right? So not that you can't use the patterns, not that you can't trade the patterns again, but they are not as reliable as some people, think they are, right? But with that being said, I do not ignore them completely as, again, if we saw this play out, I'm not going like, oh, that head and shoulders didn't even mean anything, right? Definitely something to take into account, but I just want to be clear, I do not trade based off these patterns, right? But with that being said, key level of support right now, value area low coming in at 62,253. Once we lose that, these two Fibonacci levels, the golden pocket and 786, are going to be very, very key to hold, right? And then once we lose those, that's where we're going to likely see that bearish case play out. And then in hindsight, we'll be like, duh, the money flow was coming out on the daily. The 2-day money flow was coming out as well. But again, we're praying for a fake out on the 2-day money flow, and we are praying for this money flow on the daily to come back up, right? If we want the bigger move up, we need to see this money flow just skirt right back to the upside. Other than that, this is binarily bearish, right? But that's not making me just take a bearish sentiment, right? This is bearish, but I am neutral, right? That is a very clear, that is a very important distinction to make. Just like you guys should look behind you. What is that? Oh my God. I'm not a nerd. I am not a nerd, guys. I swear I'm not a nerd. That was not, some people think that's an inhaler. That is not an inhaler, guys. That is, I don't know what that is, actually. I don't even know what it was. I wanted to taste it really quick. But anyway, this is bearish looking, right? Like definitely money flow coming out is bearish, 2-day money flow coming out is bearish, but that does not just mean that I am bearish, right? I am simply neutral because I know it's a high likelihood of a fake out, but I also know it's a high likelihood of that money flow playing out. So we're just taking an even stance here. And then again, that's the bearish case, right? Lose that 786, coming down to that key level. If we hold above that value area low, simply going to be playing this volume profile as a typical range, looking for price to come back up to that POC and then back up to that value area high. And like I said, I am still, just to update you guys on the trades, I am still short from this POC. I could bring up the trade. Let me see if I'm logged in real quick. I am. So I will bring that up in a second. But we are, I am still short from that POC. Bada boom. Profits locked in, and so obviously we are coming back up, but I have profits locked in, so not really worried about this. If it comes up here and crosses our stop loss, I will stop myself out at break or in profit, right? Because I already have profit locked in. Let me go ahead and pull up the trades real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. I am also in a long here, guys. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. Bada boom, right? So we are in, well, I'll talk about the short first. This is the short from the POC, right? Right here, up 676. Have $729 already locked in here. I don't know why I clicked OBS. I'm looking for Trading View. So again, my plan here is if I stop out of this short in profit, right, I'll literally just make $750. If I stop out of this short at break even, I will simply look for price to continue up where my bigger longs will continue to pay me out, right? I am still long from 40K down here below that value area. Shout out to the volume profiles. Very simply put, deviated, looked for the long, got the long, breakout, held that thing for massive profit. So if we get stopped out here in profit, I will simply have those longs pay me out even more. But other than that, let me pull up the other trade. This position is actually interesting, right? This is a position that I actually was supposed to be stopped out of. And, I won't go super into this just because I've talked about this recently. But either way, I'll go over the trade first, right? Up 7.73%. And this is actually a trade that I should have been stopped out on, right? But as I talk all the time on the live stream, guys, I don't just like to, I like to come up here and be as real as possible, right? I am not a perfect trader. Obviously, I know what I'm doing. I'm profitable. But, nobody is perfect. And even someone who's been trading as long as I have, I continue to learn things as I trade, and as I shared on the live stream before, one of the things that I struggle with right now in my trading is simply the fact that I have a ton of stuff going on outside of trading, and I have so many accounts between the Frankie Candles accounts, between my personal accounts, the business accounts, all this different stuff. I have multiple accounts for each different thing. I start to have so much going on that sometimes, I talked about this recently, I'll even check my phone and be like, open up like a BingX account and be like, wait, am I still in this trade? And, this is an important part of trading. You don't want to, in my case, right, my lifestyle is extremely busy, right? With the YouTube channel, with the business, between the trading, the Discord, all this stuff going on, my life is very busy, and it causes me, with all my trades open, to sometimes lose track of what's going on. And this is something I'm actively working on, and that brings me back to this trade, right? This was a long that I entered last week, but I should have been stopped out, right? I thought I had my stop loss set, and to be honest, thank God, right? It's back up $500. Not really that big of a deal, but this was down big time, right? Like at some point, right? I actually didn't even have to feel the pain of it because I was unaware of it. But obviously we did get that move down, and this trade was definitely in the red. So with that being said, this is just an error. I wanted to use this as a learning opportunity for you guys. Like, nobody is perfect, and everyone struggles with different things. And even as long as I have been trading, I have new things to learn now, right? Like, I may have had things locked down. I started the channel, all this new, my whole schedule changes. I'm super, super busy now. And it kind of makes you have to rein things in, and you have to adjust your trading style to the type of schedule and lifestyle that you have, right? If you have a full-time job, this is why I always tell people, you probably don't want to be a scalp trader, right? Everybody, for some reason, wants to trade the 1-minute chart. I don't know why. I thought this too when I started trading. I was like, oh my God, I got to trade the 1 minute. This is awesome. I'm going to be a millionaire. Everybody wants to do that, and I don't know why, because the reality of it is if you're out there and you probably want to be a scout, you want to trade on the 5 minute, the 1 minute, and you have a full-time job, you are very likely not going to have a good time trading that 5 minute, right? And this just kind of goes to, you have to be, people always tell me, what's the best time frame to trade? And the answer for me is whatever your lifestyle allows you to do, right? If you have a full-time job, right, and you have to spend a lot of time and effort on your job, then you should probably be more sticking to the higher time frames, looking for those swing trades, checking in on the chart, maybe once a day, twice a day, just to check on things. But you're looking to hold that trade for about a week or so, right, or more. Whereas if you're scalping, you got to be in and out of these positions very, very, very quickly, and it's kind of hard to do when you're at your when you're at your day job and you're just checking your phone. You're like, oh my God, my boss is coming. I'm about to get liquidated. Oh my God. And it's a constant learning process. But technically, we are now technically back up on that trade. And to be honest, it was on 6x leverage. I know you guys can't really see that because I think it's behind me. But it's on 6x leverage, right? So it wasn't like a super high leverage position. Typically, when I use higher leverage, I will, triple check my stop loss. I won't even walk away from my computer on a high leverage position without a stop loss guaranteed set. So those are a little bit more tightly looked after, but with that 6x trade, it was a little bit. I opened up Phoenix and I was like, oh my God, that was down big time before, wasn't it? But anyway, those are the two trades that we're in right now, which is kind of nice, right? Because if we do rip up from here, not only will my long from 40K continue to pay me out, but also that short from the POC will continue to pay me out as well. So there you go, guys. Other than that, that is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. Those are the key levels. And, again, that's the bullish and the bearish case. Right now, I am simply just holding my positions, sitting on my hands. And other than those longer-term swing trades, which I don't have open here because they're on BingX. I'm not logged into BingX right now. But my bigger longs from 40K are on BingX. And then this long and short, I am just holding. So I am very, very well hedged right now. So I'm sitting on my hands, letting these positions play out, and then just waiting for more key levels to find that next setup. So are we going to get the fake out? I don't know, guys. But I will say, seeing GameStop pump, seeing the meme coins pump as well is starting to make me think, hey, maybe we can get a little bit of a move up here. But just remember, on the daily here, guys, technically this is all still bearish from a technical standpoint. So you have to keep that in mind as well. And, you might be sitting there thinking to yourself, like, well, if we don't know if it's going up or down, what do we do, right? And to me, right, obviously it's not that you can't trade this because you guys see we are in trades, but, this is a sit on your hands, in my opinion, and wait for the bigger levels to get hit for bigger trades, right? So unless we come down to this 54 to 52 1K level, I'm not really looking for bigger longs, and until we wind up getting, let's talk resistance real quick, again, just really in context of this volume profile, the major levels, guys, if we get up to this POC, can we look for a short? Maybe, right? I would just be careful because obviously we have the golden pocket. Golden pocket is sitting right here as we kind of tap this to the dollar on this wick right here. But we have a POC here. We have a local golden pocket. So there is resistance here, but I don't really like trading the range, at least for my bigger trades. Maybe we look for some scalp positions up in that POC. But other than that, just looking to play this in the longer term. Just look for this to ride up to that POC, get above that POC, look to go to the value area high, and maybe beyond, right? That would obviously be the bullish case. But again, money flow really not pointing towards that. So again, when things are a little bit cloudy, I just like to show you guys kind of how I am handling things. And that's why I show you guys the trades every day here, because I just like to show you exactly how I'm managing this kind of wish-washy market. So with all that being said, let's see. Hang on. Let me just cover these super chats really quickly. Or shout out to Golden, super chat, I should say. Shout out to Golden said, YouTube can't stop me from giving to the Candle Mafia, LFG Mafia. Show your love for the man, Frankie. Smash that like button. We'll be making money, LFG. Let's go. Shout out to Golden. And don't forget to smash that like button, guys. 550 likes. We will be adding a Frankie Candles hat to the giveaway. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into some altcoins. Go ahead and spam your favorite alts in the chat. Rob the Crypto Sample, count up the votes and let us know what coins we're looking at. And I'm going to take a sip of the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. I don't have the Super U today. I actually have a classic Aztecian Cactus Moss Water, even though the Super U is much healthier. Apparently. I actually had a nutritionist in here telling me that they were like, yeah, it's basically like healthy pre-workout. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a drink that I was drinking the other day. It made me feel really good. Apparently, it's healthy pre-workout. But anyway, yeah, spam up those altcoins, and we will go ahead and start with Ethereum while you guys are dropping those in the chat. Go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. Okay. So, on ETH, here we are. So, on Friday, we were looking at Ethereum, right? Let me go ahead. Yeah, we're good here. Let me just go ahead and pull that up a bit. So, on ETH, obviously, our key level of resistance, well, this was our key level of support, right? But then once it was lost, it became key resistance, right? So, why was this resistance, right? Well, number one, you have the POC of the range, right? Number two, you have the value area low of the range. Number three, you have the Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786 retracement kind of in confluence in that zone. And then what happened? Price broke down, came back up, tapped that golden pocket, and then rejected, right? Or starting to reject now. So there was actually a lot of volatility on this candle, right? So you kind of came up, dump, back into this level. But we are now hitting resistance, right? And then this is what I'm talking about with an absolute bore fest. At least on Ethereum and Bitcoin right now. I know, obviously, PP or Pepe is obviously getting a move here, getting a little push up. But, like, even in the grand scheme of things, like, definitely a move here, right? 28% is huge, but in the grand scheme of, like, meme coins, like, just kind of a little pop. But nothing to scoff at all. But, again, Ethereum, just a complete and total bore fest here, guys. And I'm not talking about the pigs. Get a move below that value area low. Testing this as resistance. At this point, guys, let me go ahead and extend this volume profile. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's go ahead like this. Boom. As we look here, once we hold this value area low to support, I'm actually going to get rid of this zone now. I'll just keep these key levels. Actually, you know what I will do? I will move this zone. 786 golden pocket POC sitting right here. So yeah, this is your key resistance. This is the level that we must get above for Ethereum to get a bigger move up. But even if we get the bigger move up, like, I am still just using the context of this volume profile for the kind of blueprint of where price is likely to go next. So other than that, there's really not much here to update on Ethereum, guys. I really hate this price action. Green dot looking to print on the daily. So again, if we get that green dot, get above this POC, and 786, that's where I'd look for the bigger move up here. And then if we get the bigger move down, simply put, for the past 2 months, the key level of support remains exactly the same. It's sitting right here at the daily. 26.42 is that level. And other than that, like just simply waiting for a price to work itself out here. Nothing really else to look at. And looking very similar to Bitcoin as far as the money flow, so I won't even go over that. We are just simply stuck in sideways consolidation. I really, really, really hope that the rest of the summer is not going to just be Bitcoin going sideways or like maybe like a little grind to the downside. It would be absolutely boring, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I would just, it'd be like my least favorite thing. I would rather Bitcoin absolutely dump than just see price go sideways for the next, X amount of days or X amount of months. So with that being said, shout out to Steven Sansbury. He says, great show as usual. Golden is the man. Hang on. Shout out to Golden gifting another 10 Frankie Candles memberships. What is going on? Shout out to Golden, bro. Today, 130 memberships, guys. Golden just dropped 130 memberships on the Mafia, which is absolutely insane, guys. These are, I don't know which ones they are, but whatever they are not cheap, especially when you buy them in bulk like Golden is. But shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much, Golden. And shout out to anybody who just got a free Frankie Candles membership. Drop that golden emoji if you got access. And we got Top G in the chat, said, Frankie, can you check out Matic? And while Rob the Crypto Snob is counting up the votes, excuse me. Shout out to Moontrade, said, you're the best, Rob. You can do this. Shout out to Rob. But yeah, Top G said he wants to see Matic, and our boy Dave Digital wanted to see Matic as well. He said, is it time to long Matic again? As you guys know, recently on that last little run-up on Matic, let me pull it up real quick. On that last little run-up on Matic, we made a quick, I don't remember the final P&L there, but it was, we made 5 figures on that trade. Not too shabby for a little long on Matic. But the question is, are we ready to long this thing again? And I'm going to clear out some of these levels, and I'm actually going to go through the full analysis with you guys to kind of show you what I like to look at. We'll find those key levels, and we'll talk about the likelihood of this thing potentially coming back up. And it all starts with the context of the volume profile, right? And I'm going to grab that value area high, that POC, that value area low. So for the most part, let's come on over to the daily. For the most part, what we have here, and I believe this is, our long on Matic was, I believe, taken right here, right? We went from the, I believe it was from here. It wasn't from down here, was it? Yeah, I think it was from down here. We had this little inverse head and shoulders at the value area low. We had many confirmations. I'm not going to go over the trade, but we looked for this to go up to the value area high. But at this moment, what happened, right? We rode this thing. Maybe it was from down here. It may have been. But what happened here, guys? Simply trading the volume profile. And part of the reason we were able to make, I don't even remember what we made. I got to check the P&L. But it was 5 figures, right? The way we were able to make that on this trade was simply using the volume profile, right? And I believe we used the Frankie Candles Essentials Indicator, which is completely free if you guys want to check that out, in collaboration with Lux Algo. Shout out to Lux Algo. But basically, we just use the volume profiles, right? We look to go from the value area low to the POC, right? If you can't hold the POC, you look to go back to the low, back to the POC, to the value area high. Once you get to the high, this is where you look for the shorts. Back to the POC, back to the value area low, back to the POC, back to the value area low, back to the value area high, or back to the POC, and then the value area high. I think you guys all know how the volume profile works and why I love it so much. It is super, super reliable. And with that being said, right, we went from the low to the POC to the high, deviated from the high. This is where you want to be looking for short. Whoops. This is where you want to be looking. Whoops. This is where you want to, come on. What is with that? That was like, was that my bad? I don't know why that happened. This is where you want to be looking for the shorts. We get accepted into that volume profile. Once you get stuck below that value area high, you're looking for a move to the POC. Look to lose that POC back down to the value area low. And that wound up working out perfectly as well. But now you are obviously seeing we are simply deviated below that value area low, which is typically where we look for long positions in expectation to get back above that value area low, get that move to the POC, flip the POC, and then look for the move to the value area high. So with that being said, can we look for a long down here? Well, number one, I will just say off the bat, I'm not seeing any daily bullish divergences. That would just generally be nice to see. If we were putting in lower lows here, that would be really nice to see momentum coming up as price comes down, which typically which typically will give you an indication that you're going to get a reversal at least, and a daily bull div would, for me, would at least call for a move up to that value area low, where I would take partial profit, look for the flip of support, and then look up to these higher levels. However, we just don't have that right now. Money flow is also coming straight out here. This is not the best look. VWAP getting rejected at that 0 line, not necessarily what we want to see, at least on the daily time frame. Money flow on the 2-day, of course, is completely chopped up in the red, in the green, back in the red, VWAP rolling over. You have no bullish divergence at all. You have higher lows on your price action and higher lows on your momentum waves. This is not what you want to see for the bull div. You want to see a nice lower low with that higher low on your momentum waves, giving you a clear indication that you have a bull div, right? Which is simply not happening. Now, another thing we want to take a look at is, are we hitting any key levels down here, right? Is there even sound support down here to be looking for a long? And in my opinion, I don't know, right? Because we haven't done the TA yet. So let's take a look here. I'm going to take a look at the monthly, see if we have any naked points of control, and I will just tell you right now, if we get another move down, this would be the level I would look at for a long. And I'll explain why in just a second. Naked monthly point of control sitting at 56 cents. Now, I'm not saying we're guaranteed to get there, but if we get a move down, you're definitely going to want to have that marked out on your chart. Take a look at the weekly. I guess, yeah, we have a weekly naked point of control as well sitting right here. Bada boom. And let's check that daily for the daily naked points of control. And yeah, you have a daily here as well. Let's go ahead and mark that out. Bada boom. And we even have one right here. Come on. Bada bing. Okay. So there we go. We'll mark that as daily. And we'll turn this off. So now we have some kind of, insight into where those key levels are. So I will say this. Let me go ahead and pull some fibs here as well. Let's pull it from, let's go to the weekly real quick just so I can just snipe a wick here. Bada boom. I guess we'll pull it from here to the high. Not that pretty. Yeah, like there's almost no confluence. Like we're playing with the 786, but if we lose that, very likely we come down to this zone. So in the higher time frames or in the longer term, I would look at this as your next key level of support, right? You have a monthly naked point of control. You have daily naked points of control, weekly naked points of control. Now is a little bit of a range sitting between 57 and 50 cents. But, to be honest, there's really not that much confluence here. What if I just pulled a full retracement here? Yeah, I mean, your 786 there is there as well. I'm not saying you can't come up here, right? I'm not saying you can't come up because even though we don't have a daily bull div, we may have lower time frame signals to look for a move up. But if we got another move to the downside, this would be what I would look for personally, right? I'll just give you a little personal sauce here. If I were trading Matic right now, what I would love is a drop down to this key zone, right? And then if we got that lower low on price action, I would simply be looking for those bull divs on the higher time frames. Now, we would have to wait till we came down to the level to see if we can get the confirmations, but that would definitely be what I would love to see this move down here, right? To put the lower low in on your price action and then, and then get higher lows on our momentum waves. We could look for this on the higher time frames, like even potentially, yeah, I mean, maybe it's kind of hard to say. There's no real perfect setup here. Let me see what the 4-hour looks like. Let's see if we have any local signals to look for along here. Not really, to be quite honest with you, not really. I mean, maybe, not even, not really. There's really no significant signal here to look for a mega long, in my own personal opinion. You do have a weekly green dot looking to print, but look at the VWAP's just getting rejected here. We need that to round off to the upside. So I don't really see any signals to long right here. But macro levels remain exactly the same. So, once we do wind up, I mean, again, this is a very confluent zone. And especially, I would probably separate these into two different zones. One here and then one down here. But, once you wind up getting back above this value area, this is your key resistance, right? Even if you get a move up, you got to get above that value area low. If you can't get back above that value area low, there's very low chance that you're going to get that move up that you're looking for. And then, Where's that parallel channel? You know, are we potentially creating a little bit of, why is this like this? Hang on one sec, guys. Boom, right? Are we potentially seeing that little bear flag form? Maybe, right? Maybe. Do I have custom settings for this? I don't. Okay, but there you go, right? So I would be careful here. Even if you get a move up, I would probably be more likely to look at this in terms of a smaller range here, right? So if I were looking for longs, I would I would very likely be like, you know, obviously taking the higher time frames into consideration, but locally, I would really just be looking at this range, right? It's kind of like a bear flag, so I would be much more happy looking for shorts at the high of this than longs at the low. But, you know, if you come down to these lower time frames, you know, maybe we can find some kind of insight into, you know, what is going to happen here. Like even on the 1 hour, let's see. Yeah, I mean, like this really is not what you want to see, right? I'm not saying that we can't get a move up, but like, there's no divergence. There's no money flow crossover into the green. I don't see a reason to just randomly enter a long here. Doesn't mean that we can't pump, right? Take a look at the daily. Green dot is looking to print, so can you come up from here? Maybe. But again, like even that VWAP is just getting rejected. It's just not the prettiest setup in my opinion. You know, again, doesn't mean you can't bounce, but I just don't see there's no entry signal here to actually get into a long position. So other than that, I would just be paying attention to the higher time frames here. Definitely a ton of key levels down here, closer to 57, 56 cents, and then down below closer to, you know, between, call it 53 all the way down to 50 cents. So if we get that move down, these are the key levels to watch. If you get a move up, that value area low sitting at 73 cents is your absolute key resistance, because once you flip that, you're back into your larger volume profile. And what happened last time? You slipped this level and regained it, right? You went right to the POC and then right to the value area high as you'd expect. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at on Matic. Dang, I really was hoping that was going to look cleaner. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Cameron, says this is a spot investor's dream right now. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Shout out to Golden, said I'll buy your Bitcoin at 90%. Because it's going to zero tomorrow. Shout out to Golden. You know, Golden, do you have to tell us something? As you guys know, Golden is, or at least in my head, Golden is Satoshi. So Golden, you have anything you got to share with the class today? Let me know. At least let us know ahead of time. Thank you for dropping that sauce in here. But anyway, shout out to Golden. Let's see. Bada, bada boom, bada bing. Whoa! Shout out to, I almost said Golden. Creighton dropping these golden-sized super chats. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you so much, bro, for that. $100 super chat. Thank you so much, bro. He says 1, 2, 3, and to the 4. 1 candle, 2 candle, 3 candle, 4. 4 candle, 3 candle, 2 candle, 1. You're a candle, he's a candle, no candle, none. Golden is a real cool dude, but I know something about you. Golden loves 42, especially today, so throw your hands up for our boy's birthday. Hang on a second. It's Golden's birthday? Golden. Not my birthday. I'll take it. Shout out to Golden. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Happy fake birthday. And speaking of birthdays, happy birthday to Rob the Crypto Snob. Shout out to Golden. Happy birthday, bro. And shout out to Creighton C. Thank you so much for that super chat to wish Golden a fake happy birthday. Creighton, you did not have to send that $100 super chat. Thank you so much, though, to wish Creighton a fake happy birthday. You're a legend, Creighton. You're an absolute legend. Let me just check the super chats real quick here before we move on, guys. Hey, shout out to Thesis himself. Says, big time and Adam Prees. Hashtag Tyler says hi. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Hello, and hello to you too, Thesis. By the way, guys, don't bring up the yellow X's in front of Thesis, because we all know he doesn't believe in them, which I hope they're not real, because otherwise we're going to see a big dump. Shout out to Thesis, Big Time, and Adam. I guess, yeah, let's take a quick look at Adam first, and let's see Rob the Crypto Snob. Where's he at? Let's see. Aerodrome, I bet you, I would not be surprised if that is on the list already. Let's see here. I'm sure I missed Rob's super chat. I bet I missed Rob's alt. They're already pinned. Shout out to Rob the Crypto side. Yeah, Aerodrome is on there. So real quick, let's take a quick look at Adam before we jump on into the list here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Take a look at the 2-day. Red dot printing. Okay. Let's see here. Let me pull up. Where we at? Do we have it here? There it is. Okay. So here we are, guys. I'll be honest with you. I'm actually pretty tempted. Yeah, I'm actually pretty tempted to buy some spot Adam right now. And you might say, well, Frankie, there's a fresh red dot here. Why would you buy it right on a fresh red dot? And the answer to that is I don't mind buying lower, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at the TA here, guys. I'm going to pull up some key levels. Let's pull up the fib here. Let's pull from the absolute low to the high here, holding that 786. All right, here's the thing. Adam, I love Adam. ATOM. I like Adam a lot, and as a project, I think interoperability is going to be a huge narrative in this bull run, right? So with that being said, this is, in my opinion, like a blue chip interoperability play, and with all the blockchains that are out now, obviously interoperability is going to be a rising narrative, in my opinion, because there's going to need to be a way for all of these things to connect and communicate, right? And but anyway, as we hold this 786, from a technical perspective here, right, what happened? We got to drop down, hit that 786, and now we are flirting with that value area low. Now, I don't love the fresh red dot on the 2-day, but I will say this. Even if we do come back down, this could set you up for a nice higher time frame bullish divergence. And may I point out here, guys, the last time we had these 2-day bullish divergences was, we were looking at this on the live stream as you have these lower lows on your price action and the higher lows on your momentum waves. Here was a little bit different because it was very likely this was the bottom of the bear market. But, we also had our money flow coming up as well. And that was what started the first leg up on the altcoins, a lot of the altcoins other than Adam as well. So when I see this 2-day bull div, or it's not here yet, but if we do wind up printing that, could be a pretty bullish sign, right? And then let me just see real quick, see if we can get some higher time frame levels on. Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty nice to see something like this. I will be honest, right? Let me check the monthly. Do we have a monthly naked point of control down there as well? We do. Right? Bada boom. Turn it off. So now we know, right? Come back down to the daily. Not only do we know that we need price if we're going to get that 2-day bull div. I mean, I guess we can look at the 2-day here. If we're going to get a 2-day bull div, right, we already know that we need to get a lower low on price, right? We do not have lower lows here. But if we do put in that lower low, I'll be honest, this level right here would be no better. There's no better level than this to put in that lower low, right? Weekly, monthly naked point of control. And if we did wind up getting that, I think it is likely that would give us some kind of a bullish divergence, right? And if we were to get that, I would be buying, right? Like I said, I wouldn't even mind buying here and then just riding it down and buying along the way down. But this is something I would definitely be looking at on the higher time frames if we are going to get a bigger move to the downside. Because what are we seeing here, right? Very simply put, for Adam, we break down below the range. We test it as a reason. We come up, test the POC as resistance, test it again. If we reject here, you could get a little push down. So if we do, that's the if this then that for Adam. If we get that, I will look for a potential buy the dip scenario, and I will put a blue box here. By the way, these naked points of controls are sitting basically between 721 and 715, right? So those are the next key levels. You can see we already kind of tapped that level almost before getting the first little bounce here. But with that 2-day red dot, with that daily money flow coming out the way it is, right? This is, right? Look at this money flow. If I hide everything other than the money flow, like that money flow is bearish, right? Actually, yeah, that money flow is pretty bearish, right? 2-day coming back out, 3-day money flow trending to the downside. 10-hour back in the red, 12-hour coming up a bit. 16-hour coming up a bit. So, again, mixed signals galore out there right now. But that is what I'd be looking at on Adam in the longer term, right? A little higher time frame analysis there on Adam. I'll be honest. I I may buy Adam after the stream right now. So yeah, and I'm okay with a drop down. If we get the drop down, no big deal. I'll just buy more. But you know, this is at the end of the day, guys. When you're looking at this bear market range, I mean, for a blue chip like Adam, right? I don't see like why I would not be buying Adam down here. Not financial advice, right? Like even if we dump more, right? We make new lows, right? Here's the 2021 or this 2021 October. $44. This thing is at $8 right now, right? And if it goes lower, that's just a buying opportunity, in my opinion, for something like Adam. So there you go. That's what I'd be looking at. Let's go. All right, let's see. Yo, shout out to Creighton C said, man, I spent the whole 15 minutes on that rhyme. Creighton, that was actually a legit rhyme. That was that was legit. I don't It wasn't a riddle. It was just straight bars. Absolute bars. For Golden's fake birthday. But anyway, let's continue on here. Let's go ahead and take a look at. Let's go ahead and jump on into. Let's check INJ. Bada boom. There we go. Okay. There's that 786. Okay, well, I don't remember the exact time we looked at this, but levels are respected. I don't even know where this level came from, but obviously it was valid. Interesting. Is this our fresh INJ chart? Let me just double check. I'm just going to start nice and fresh here. So, kind of the same thing here, right? 2-day red dot printing, money flow coming out, right? Like, this is not a bullish look. Doesn't mean that you can't yeet back up, but for the most part, just looking at this from a technical standpoint, look at the money flow on the daily, guys. Like, this is coming out. And the one nice thing here is you do have slight bullish divergences here, but I will be honest. Let me pull this range here. And take a look at this right here. Bada boom. Make it neutral. Okay. So, yeah, we obviously lost this range. The next significant area of support is obviously, yeah. We must hold these levels, guys. That 786 must hold. Because if we do not hold that 786, very simply put, this does not look good. We lose this, probably coming down to this next level. Now, does that mean 51 to 52K for Bitcoin? Potentially. I mean, not that INJ would move Bitcoin, but obviously, if this is happening, Bitcoin is probably getting a move down as well. But I will pull this little range here as well. Just take a look. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. So there we go. So this would definitely be that next zone of support on INJ if the move down continues. This is sitting between 1832 and 1591. Key level of support that we must hold. I'll even mark this value area low, right? This is a value area low of this VPVR. And I'll get and look at the gap as well, right? What happened last time we slipped this level? Whoa! Like we almost fell through, right? It's like almost like you slip off a cliff. You're like, oh God, you almost fall, but you like catch yourself and pull yourself back up. That is exactly what happened here. Fell into that low volume gap. It's like INJ is just kind of walking along, right? We can go down to a lower time frame to like visualize this, right? We know that gap is below, right? INJ is just kind of like just walking along, and then it just steps in a hole, and it's like, oh, God, I almost fell. Sorry. Whoop. And now it's back up, right? So with that being said, obviously, this is the level to hold. We need to hold this level. Once we lose it, very likely we fall through this low volume gap, and we wind up revisiting that next key zone between 1832 and 1591. Very simply put. And then once we get down there, you can use this for context to look for your next trade. Longs at the lows, shorts at the highs, right? And then you're using money flow and other forms of analysis to kind of gauge which way you want to go. Are you more leaning towards shorts, or are you more leaning towards longs? These are decisions that need to be made as you range around at that zone. Now, if you get a move to the upside, I will say, I mean, pretty simply put, I mean, this does look like bearish consolidation to me, right? I mean, unless you're looking at this as some kind of like a You know, like I don't know. It's kind of like a triangle. But really the way I'd be looking at this is in terms of the volume profile, right? So I would just be looking at this as a local range, right? If I were to get confirmations, which I do not see down here right now, right? Like there's like no bull div here, no bull div there, like just really nothing clean to look at here, to be quite honest with you. But once we wind up, if you get back above that value area low, maybe you could look for a move up, but I do not see any signs to do that. But I would be looking at this range for context if I were looking to scalp INJ. But I'm not, right? I'm not looking to like scalp the altcoins right now as we sit around in this super, super choppy, hard to trade environment. To be quite honest with you, the fact that we have all green trades is a testament to the CandleMafia and the way we trade, not only on this stream, but also in the premium Discord. But I'll be honest, guys, I am taking what I can get right now. The trading conditions are choppy. And shout out to Creighton C. He dropped this. He dropped this in the chat last Friday. At the end of the stream, he was saying, like, guys, not the time to force any kind of like low probability trades. And I couldn't have agreed enough. This is not the time to be jumping in and out of willy-nilly trades. This is like, I am being very, very, very picky with the setups I take. And even the little scalps that I take are being managed very tightly. Hey, shout out to Tom Crown. Let's go. What is going on, brother? He said, hype it up for Frankie Candles. Let's go. Shout out to Tom Crown. Thank you for hanging out, bro. Don't forget to check out Tom Crown's channel as well. If you guys want even more sauce, go head over to his channel. Make sure you're subscribed. And shout out to Tom Crown. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight, bro. Good to see you. And by the way, bro, had a blast on that Femex Twitter space, or X space, as some people call it. I just can't get used to calling it X. But that was super fun. If you guys didn't know that, me and Tom occasionally do Femex Twitter spaces together. You guys should check them out next time they're live. We always let you know in the Discord. And with that being said, go join that free Discord link in the description down below. But with all that being said, that's what I'll be looking at on INJ. Let's go ahead and jump on into Ondo and take a look at what we got going on here. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, I don't know if we're going to have enough time to go through all the alts here, but obviously we will cover the ones we don't. What is this? Hang on. What is this? Why is this like this? What is going on? What are all these fibs? Why don't, like, some of these are valid? I feel like all of these are valid. Whoa. I feel like all of these are, yeah, why is that? Why are there so many fibs there? That's weird. Hang on. Let me see if I can pull up a different Ondo chart. I believe we have a different one. Let's see. Nope. Nope. All right. Well, screw it. We'll take a look at Ondo on Coinbase. So, I mean, actually, not too bad here. Pretty clean range. I'll be honest with you. Pretty clean range. Got your highs, got your lows, all respected. I mean, to be honest with you, this has been a trader's dream, or volume profile trader's dream. Deviation above the high, bearish divergences, back into the range, back to the POC, back to the low. Bounce off the low, back to the high, back to the low, deviation, back to the high, deviation, back to the low, deviation, back to the high, deviation, back to the low, deviation, back to the high, deviation, back to the low. So very, very respected range here. And this is kind of your macro range, to be honest with you. But again, right, like as far as market cipher goes, right, like money flow coming out, this is like doesn't look good, to be honest. Doesn't mean we can't pump, right? Like, but binarily, like this is a bearish chart. We need to see fake outs on money flow here. If we want to get the bigger move to the upside. Yeah, daily 4-hour red dot printing. I think it is probably likely. I would not be interested in any positions here. I would only be interested in longs if we were able to make it back down to that value area low. So I'll just give you the key levels here on Ondo real quick. You have a nice 786 value area low confluence here. Bada boom, bada bing. Turn that long. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, to be quite honest with you guys, if we're looking at this with a fresh 4-hour red dot, let's check that lower time frame money flow. 15-minute money flow coming to the downside, right? So what does that mean? That probably means that if that money flow crosses over into the red as that 4-hour red dot's printing, probably more likely to get a move down than up. Now, with that being said, I would only be interested in bigger long positions down at that 786 golden pocket, 786 value area low, excuse me. And like what happened here, right? You go from the high, then where are we expecting to go from here? Expect to go back into the range, back to the POC, lose the POC, and now you're expecting to go to the value area low. As long as you remain below that POC, you're expecting to go to the value area low. Now, once we lose that golden pocket, where would you expect to go? 786, right? So there is more than one reason to look for that move down here. And for that reason, I don't like to, especially, right? Once in a while, I will trade at the POC. As you guys know, I am short from the POC, from this POC on Bitcoin right now, short from literally like the top of this wick. But there's reason, right? There's exceptions for trading the middle of a range. But more often than not, I do not like to trade the middle of a range, but when I do trade the middle of the range, it's got to be at least off a key level, right? We are just in the middle of nowhere right now. This isn't even at the POC, which could be considered a key level of the range. But we're just kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I think it is likely that it is, not guaranteed, not financial advice. It is more likely to come for a move down to the value area low where I would be more comfortable looking for longs. And honestly, the way money flow looks, wouldn't it be impossible to lose that range as well? Unless we get fake outs on money flow. We do not get these fake outs on money flow, guys. Like, things could turn bearish. Again, the only reason I'm expecting a potential fake out on money flow and another move up is just with where we are in the cycle. Because you have to remember, things get boring, and even when things dump, things get really, really, really scary, and then out of nowhere, all of a sudden, the next day, everything's green, and we rip out of nowhere. It's... these long consolidations can sometimes be worse than big dumps, right? At least the big dump, it's like happens and it's over. But these consolidation ranges is like everybody's tense. Nobody knows where anything's going. And like even the charts are chopped up. So keep that in mind. That would be, the context I'd be looking at on Ondo. And I will leave that right there, right? Looking at this volume profile. Value area high. Whoops. POC, value area low. Bada boom. So that's what I would be looking at on Ondo. On Ondo! Let's see, Yoshi. Shout out to Agbatty says, we need a signal every day, bro. Shout out to you, brother. This is not a signals channel. We do not give buy or sell signals. If you're looking for buy, I think he's kidding. But if you're looking for buy or sell signals, please either stop looking for it and learn how to trade, or just don't even look for the signals. You are much more likely to lose all your money trading signals than actually learning how to trade. Please be careful. What are signals? Like winking? He blinked 14 times, so that's 14x. Right, left alternation. That's Cardano. Double blink. That's a short. Let's go. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, shout out to Ron. Said, trade your feelings. Yes. Basically, that's all we do. We just wait till we, feel a little bit bearish, and then we just short. You guys are funny. But let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to Stupid Bitcoin. Said, I want all 4 billion signals every single day, Frankie. Shout out to Stupid Bitcoin. Incoming, brother. Incoming. Check your DMs. I sent you 14 billion signals, and they're all 100% win rate. So, but in all seriousness, guys, the real reason I push against signals, or I don't not believe in them, but the reason I don't really talk about signals a lot or give just direct signals is because they don't work, right? I always say this, and it's for this very simple reason. If I was magic, right? Some people do say I'm a wizard, right? Some people say I have a crystal ball. Maybe we do, maybe we don't, right? But even if I were able to guarantee that I had 100% guaranteed winning setups, if I could guarantee every signal I gave was a winning setup, 638 of you guys in this live stream will still lose money, and only 1 to 5 people would actually make money on that signal, right? And the reason is because it is not the most important thing about trading is not the signal or the entry or when price is going to go up or down. This is a small part of trading, right? The TA and understanding where price will reverse, where price will retrace to, finding out which direction price is going to go is not only a small percentage of trading, it is the smaller percentage of trading. And in my opinion, one of the less, I would say trading is probably 20% TA, and the rest is all mindset, psychology, and trade management and risk management. And that takes time to build. There's no other way around it. And obviously the TA, figuring out which way price is going to go, is a very difficult thing as well. But it's only a little bit of it, right? The harder part of this is managing the trades, knowing when to take profit. And even when you know all that stuff, you still have to, and this is the actual hard part, right? It's easy to say, like I could tell people, right? If you look for a long here, right? Let's say you look for a long here, and then you look to go to the POC, and then the value area high, right? I could easily say if you enter along here, for me, I would TP1 at the POC, TP2 at the value area high, right? Very likely we're going to fill this range, and I would take profit here, take profit here. So there you go. There are concrete take profits. But do you know what 99% of people will do? Obviously, they're not going to pay themselves, right? They're going to get into the trade, right? And they're going to do this. This is exactly what they're going to do, right? And this is not me. This is not my opinion. This is not my. It's not my opinion. This is not my stance on it, right? This is what it is, right? This is statistics, and also I'm speaking from experience, right? Like this is how I used to trade when I first got into trading. But what do you look for, right? You're like, oh, I'm in the green. I'm going to take profit at the POC and take profit at this level here too, right? And then it hits the POC and you're like, nah, we're going. I'm going to hold it. I want to make more money. I want to hold it. I'm going to the value area high. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm going to hold it. Oh, boom. I'm a genius. I'm going to hold it even more. We're breaking out. We're going to break out. We're going to break out. And then all of a sudden, you're back down to zero, right? You're back at break even. And that is how most people will handle a signal. Right? It takes there's only a few people, right? There's a small minority of people who will be able to take a buy signal and actually take profit, move their stop loss, and manage their risk. Most people will just hold it here and then ride it all the way back down. And again, that's just a statistic. So that is why I don't, that is why I don't believe in signals. That's why I don't do signals. That's why our premium Discord, I spoon feed you the trade setups, and then I spend the rest of the time just teaching you guys how to actually manage the trades and have the discipline to take your profits, right? Because that is actually what will make you money. So there you go. That's my little rant on signals for today. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Crypto Maxi. My number one question I've ever been asked on this channel, I think, is exactly what you're saying. Shout out to Crypto Maxi. Says, hey, Frankie, where do you know exactly how to set your anchor points for your volume profile? And I will give you the same answer I give every time, and that is I do treat it a little bit more like an art than a science, right? I will say this. What I look for is sideways consolidation, right? So if I were pulling a range, I've talked about this many times, but I don't see a reason why we shouldn't go over it. When I see a sideways range, right, an identifiable sideways range, right, like this or like this, right, this is what I pull my profiles on. Now, there's many ways. There's really no wrong way to pull a profile technically, right? Like if I wanted to, sometimes, speaking of take profits, sometimes what I do is I will simply pull from the bottom of a downtrend to a high, right? Like let's say I was looking to take shorts, right? And I'll change my value area to 100% so I can see the whole profile evenly, right? And I'll actually, let me just tick, I won't do that. It's going to take too much time. But basically, what I look for, right, or what I can do here, let me go ahead and hide everything except for that. Bada boom, right? So what you could pull it from here to here. It's not invalid, right? And, you're basically just looking at this saying, hey, if I were in a short here, where can I look to take some profit, right? Well, you might want to take profit at these high volume nodes, right? These could be good places to take some money out of the market as you are likely to bounce off of them, right? Which literally happened right here. So this will be a valid profile, right? So the reason I say that is because there's really no wrong or right way to do it. But typically for me, what I do is I just find sideways price action, and I will just pull it from the start of the range to the end of the range. That's kind of a bad example. Let me zoom out here. Yeah, so I will just pull it on sideways price action, right? And then I get my nice range. It's respected. It looks nice. Now, what candle I pull it to is dependent, right? It really depends on the price action. But again, just to be clear, if you pull your range from here, right, I'll mark out these levels, right? Let me go ahead and mark this out with a box, right? If you move this, right, if I pull it to this candle and then you pull it to this candle, it's going to move very slightly. Right? It is important, but it really does change, right? And there's really no wrong way to do it. So that's my answer. I typically look for the sideways ranges and then pull my fixed range, but technically that's not the right way to do it. It's just one way of doing it. So there you go. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and continue on. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Okay, let's continue on here and take a look at Solana. Let's go ahead and jump into Solana. We took a look at Solana earlier today on the premium in the premium live stream. Gave some secret sauce. But let's see here, right? So as we looked at Solana on Friday, I believe, right, we still have this kind of head and shoulders formation, right? Which, technical target, I just know this because I did this earlier today. Technical target does bring you just about up to the highs again. I'll be honest with you guys, right? Like, not much to update here on Solana. We're within our volume profile. Nothing has changed. Everything is boring. Nothing is moving. Everything is going sideways except for the meme coins. But on Solana, we are in the same exact position we were in on Friday. Where was Friday? Yeah, Friday we were sitting here, and now, like, I could find the exact situation here, right? Like, we're just going sideways. On Friday, we were sitting during the live stream. We were sitting right here, and now we are sitting right here. So not much of a change here on Solana, unfortunately. I mean, not unfortunately, but like, it's just unfortunate for the entertainment aspect here. But I will say this, right? I'll break this down. Key level of support, as we know, right? We deviated below the volume profile as we got to move back above here and above that POC. This is where this was the key level or doorway to higher prices because the value area low and the POC are so close here. We look to not only get above the value area low in this case, but also the POC, because if you flip that value area low, the POC is right above you, which would probably knock you right back down. And yeah, once you get above that POC, you are looking for a potential continuation through the macro value area. So key level of support technically is the value area low. We lose the value area low, that would be bearish, $133. But as long as we remain above this blue box, it's really just the box, 141 to 133. We remain above this box. It keeps the door open to fill the rest of this range to the upside, but you have to understand we do have this volume profile above, which also does have confluence here as resistance, right? So we do have these intermediary local levels of resistance sitting here. Bada boom. POC, right? I'm not going to mark out all the levels, but these are key resistance levels on the way to the value area high, right? Because why, right? Why is that, Frankie Candles? Why? Well, very simply put, if we are going to come up and put in a macro lower high and the money flow on these daily time frames are indeed telling the truth and they are in fact bearish, right? Doesn't mean we're going down, but market cipher money flow on the daily is in fact bearish. This is not my opinion. This is just simply what is on the chart. I am just bringing the information, right? So if we're going to see this play out, we could wind up being at risk of putting in a lower high in this zone, right? So, but then, obviously, it's nice because we have a clear invalidation. Once you get above this, probably going to be seeing the macro value area high. But we have to be cautious as we approach this zone, as if we put these bearish confirmations in, we could see a move back to the downside. So those are the key levels. Other than that, it looks exactly the same as Bitcoin and a lot of the other altcoins. So there you go. But yeah, that was... And again, right, like head and shoulders formation, slip the value area low. As long as we remain within this range, we could expect higher, right? With the grander concept or the grander idea that you could put a macro high or low, a lower high, and then a continuation to the downside, which obviously we do have key levels below. Feel free to screenshot these levels. I'm not going to go over them just because we're pretty far away from them. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, brother. He says, last chart, gosh, was that a long sideways range with a final flush out. What a shock. That happens in the markets, and then it goes up. Oh, my God. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat. And, yeah, absolutely. I will... These sideways, yeah, yo, shout out to Tony Roas. Says inverted herp and derp pattern on Solana. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about patterns, to be honest with you. Hey, shout out to Agbaddy says, and I apologize if I'm butchering your name, brother. I apologize. But what is your daily routine? This is a great question, and I've actually done a video on my daily trading routine, but let us know, Tony D, if you could drop a poll in the chat. I was actually talking to Mrs. Candles about this. We may start a second channel, guys, and this wouldn't be like a second channel that we're going to upload to like every day, or go live on every day like we do here, but it would be like kind of a second channel for like the real CandleMafia fans to kind of follow along, and there will be sauce there, right? There's going to be value there, but we are probably going to start doing, and I don't want to put a date on it. I don't know if we're going to start this next year, in a month, next week. Maybe we do the first one tomorrow. I don't know. But we're probably going to start doing some vlog type stuff just to change up the pace when the markets are boring. We can at least drop some other value as well as some, it'll be more focused on like trading psychology. And I was thinking maybe the first vlog we do could be like the daily routine of Frankie Candles. And it'd just be like from the morning, waking up, being like, all right, guys, straight to Starbucks, and then we come back, update the Discord. I could even show you guys kind of how my workflow goes in the TA, like what do I do when I sit down at my desk. It would be really cool. I think a certain amount of people would be interested in seeing behind the scenes like that. But yeah. Whoa, Tony D coming in hot with that. But yeah, we're gonna start. We might start doing that pretty soon. Peep channel. What does that even mean? Shout out to Tony D. What do you mean? Peep channel? Oh, Paul. I was like, what? But yeah, yeah, that is basically what that's what we plan on doing. And, but I do have a video on the channel about my daily trading routine. When I sit down at my desk, how do I mark up my charts typically? How do I find what coins I want to trade, etc. Could be super, super, valuable. So, go check that out if you have not already. Let's see. Hey, shout out to Blair 321. What is going on, brother? Still can't believe that your name is that close to one of my old friends. Gamer tag. It's like literally so close. That's strange. I have a hard time believing it's not you. But I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Is it even worth it to buy any serious projects this cycle? Feels like meme coins like Whiff, Pepe, pump harder and dump less than stuff like Ada, Matic, and Seep. Shout out to Blair. My personal response, right, my personal answer to that, not what you guys should do, is absolutely it is worth it to buy actual projects. Obviously, the meme coins always pump harder, right? But they're much, much more risky. But it doesn't mean you can't make money with the meme coins, right? And they have been holding up pretty well. Actually, I haven't checked out COQ in a while. But, I mean, even COQ, like, holding up pretty nicely here. But, yeah, absolutely. Like, 1% of my portfolio is in meme coins, right? Now, how much is 1% of my portfolio? Probably different than everybody else, as everybody's 1% of their portfolio is different to everybody. So is my 1% big or small to you? I don't know. Likely it is not the same. But the I still, right, I trade meme coins, or I mostly just buy them on spot. But it is a very, very, very small portion of my portfolio. As most meme coins, other than like the blue chips, right, Pepe, quote unquote Pepe, Dogecoin, Sheeb, Whiff. These like could be the next big. These could be like the next blue chip meme coins. But other than that, you just got to be careful with like the new meme coins, right? It takes 15 seconds to create a meme coin, right? And this is very dangerous, right? Because anybody can make them, anybody can rug them. So you got to be careful. But I do see what you're saying. The meme coins, like even Pepe, right? If we take a look at Pepe, it's the only thing that's doing something different. One of the only things doing something different than everything else. They do seem to hold up pretty good. But we are in the midst of a bull run here, right? Yeah, you just have to be careful. They are a little bit more risky. Like, I do think Pepe has a great potential to be somewhat of a blue chip meme coin, just because of the fact that it's an old meme, right? It's a very well-known meme. It's old, right? A lot of people know it. It's already gotten a really, really good start here. So that's kind of how I feel. But yeah, definitely worth it. Like, I am not putting like $100,000 into a meme coin, right? It depends, right? It's all dependent on the individual investor, right? What are your goals with crypto? What is your goal to build wealth Is your goal to gamble? Is your goal to be risky? Is your goal to grow your money that you already have? Are you starting with very little and you're trying to start a nest egg of money to invest with? Right? If I had $1,000 to invest, it's much different if I have a couple $100,000 to invest, right? If I had $1,000 to invest, I'm probably splitting that up into some pretty risky things, right? Because if I lose that $1,000, and I would diversify it, right? I probably put $50 to $100 in 10 different things, right, that are somewhat risky, high risk, high reward. And then, out of those 10 things that I buy, maybe 7 of them go to zero, maybe 9 of them go to zero, maybe all of them go to zero. But all I need is one to pop off and give me like a 10x or 20x, and then I can get a more of a nest egg, right? And then, it's all different. It depends on the investor. But I will say, just binarily, definitely worth buying sound projects. But yeah. And the meme coins are probably pumping right now very heavily based off of the GameStop stuff. So keep that in mind as well, right? You probably just had a bunch of GameStop and meme stock traders that, GameStop just ran back up. They kind of wake up and they're like, oh, God, this thing's moving again. Maybe it's time to get back into meme stocks. And then they start looking at crypto and they're like, oh, wait, crypto's starting to pump a little bit too. Oh, let me buy the memes, right? So, once you start to understand like what, how the sentiment moves in the market, it's probably why the meme coins are doing well today. But anyway, shout out to Thesis himself. Said my mentor, thank you for the super chat, brother. Said my mentor has made. My mentor became a millionaire using nothing but formations and patterns. Starting capital of $26. Now 2.7 million. It's how I started trading, and it's extremely easy for new traders. Can't knock what works. Absolutely. That's why every time I talk about why I don't trade patterns, I always say, right, doesn't mean you can't trade them profitably at all. People out there do trade them profitably, but it's people will very often people will see something like a bull pennant and they'll be like, what the heck? It broke down. And I do just find that the statistics and the probabilities of the breakouts are not as reliable or not accurate. Like, this is a perfect example, right? Bull pennant here, and then it's like you break down and lose the pennant, right? Where a lot of beginners would just kind of see this and long. And really, what I try to explain about the patterns is that I think a lot of people, when they come into trading, they think like this means up, but it doesn't, right? Like price doesn't move based off the pattern. But yeah, absolutely works 100% of the time. Like I do think bull pennants break up more than they break down. That is a fact of the matter. It's bullish consolidation that's going to break up more than it breaks down often. But it's a little harder. I think once I started looking at order flow, it was hard for me to go back to patterns. But for a beginning, not even for beginners, right? Like there's a lot of advanced traders that trade patterns alone. But once I see order flow and you start to spot you start to gain the ability to see when the patterns are not going to play out, you're like, oh, it's kind of hard to go back to it. But I think it's a natural progression of a trader, right? When I started, I think the first thing I looked at was patterns, right? It's very easy to be like, oh, okay, like when I see this, it usually does that. When I see this, it usually does that. But yeah, no, absolutely tradable. Just not something that I take into account too much anymore. $26 to $2.7 million is wild. I've never heard of anybody flipping. That's wild. I think that's like the craziest. Starting with a little bit of money and flipping that amount of money into a large amount of money, I think that takes the cake. I've never heard of anybody turning $26 into $2.6 million that I actually knew. Like I've heard people say it, but that is absolutely insane, Thesis. That is, I don't know who your mentor is, but low key, they must be the GOAT. So shout out to Thesis himself. Hashtag patterns can be traded. Shout out to Thesis. But let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. Yeah, shout out to Creighton says, like all trading, there's more that goes into it than just one thing. Thesis will use patterns and confirmations, trend levels, fibs, etc. Frankie doesn't just use volume profiles. Exactly, right? Just like you can't just long a value area low, even though more often than not, it will bounce off the value area low. You can't just trade that alone, right? It's the exact same thing, right? Like I'll trade a bull pennant, right? For example, right? Like you have a bull pennant here. And I would look at this, And if I was looking at the order flow and I saw a move up coming, then it's like, hey, that's double confirmation. Not only do we have a bull pennant, but we also have bullish order flow. But when you start to look at the pattern, you're like, I don't know. It looks like we might go, order flow looks a little bit bearish. Maybe we get a fake out to the downside. Once you start to see that, it's like, oh God, it's like seeing X-ray vision. It's like, oh my God. It actually kind of literally is, right? If you pull up the order flow real quick, it literally is like X-ray vision. It's like, these are the candles, and you can literally look inside the candle to see what is actually happening behind them. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's see. Yeah, market manipulators can see patterns too. That's a big reason why, that's a thing, right? When you're looking at anything that a lot of people look at when they're trading, it's heavily manipulated, right? Not only can you see the golden pockets, right? It's not just patterns. Not only can you see the golden pockets, but the market makers can see the patterns as well, and the fibs as well, right? And they know, right? They know that there's a lot of liquidity sitting above and below certain areas. They know that, also they're looking at other things, right? If you're looking at this pattern, right? What happens oftentimes in a bull pennant here, I'll just explain it real quick. What happens a lot of times in bull pennants here will be that you can actually see, right, or assume where the liquidity is if you're looking at the order flow, right? Because if you're here and this is a bullish pattern and a lot of retail is longing, you can assume, right? You can assume, and this is exactly why I don't just trade patterns anymore. You can assume here, if you have a lot of longs opening up, right? And even if you're not looking at order flow, you can assume, right? Most people are bullish here, right? Most retail, and I'm not saying retail is in we're not retail, like we are retail, but as you see here, and all retail thinks this is going to break out, right? Especially the ones that aren't looking at a lot of other things. People who are just trading patterns are thinking this is, hey, I got to bet on this going up, wait for the breakout, the retest, and then look for the position, right? But what can you assume here is like, hey, everybody's probably long here, which is going to put a lot of liquidity down below, right? A lot of stop losses are going to sit down below. And depending on the leverage they're using, their liquidation levels and their stop losses will be, all over the place down here. Essentially just putting a lot of liquidity below the triangle, right? Or below the pennant. And this is oftentimes where price will come down and wreck all those longs before finally faking out and reversing to the upside. But again, sometimes, like I could probably find very easily, if we come down to a lower time frame, like a 4-hour, you could find a bull pennant that played out perfectly, right? So yeah, it works both ways, right? Like even here, I guess that was more like a falling wedge or a bull flag. But for everyone that doesn't play out, there's some that do play out, right? So it's all about a statistics game, right? But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Agbatty, says, how can we spot liquidity? There's actually many ways you can spot liquidity. My favorite way, or in my opinion, the most accurate way that I typically try to find liquidity is by actually looking for trapped traders, right? Not even just trapped traders. There's many ways to do it, right? Essentially what you want to do is you want to try to assume where people's stop losses are. I feel like this live stream is basically turned into education at this point. But basically what you're looking for is where people's stop losses would likely be sitting, right? And what do you use for that? You have to assume what most people will do, right? So to do that, right, what I like to do is just look at price action, right? If you're looking at, say, a sideways range, right, like we typically do, whoops, right? Grab our long position, right, or short position, either way. But basically what you're looking for is where people's stop losses are likely going to be, right? So if everybody is shorting, if everybody is entering shorts right here, I explain this like this all the time, right? If everyone is shorting the top of this range, or you can assume, right? It's assumed. And then you can use things like the liquidation heat maps, which I could actually pull up right now. Right, you could use things like liquidation heat maps. Shout out to Agbatty. I'm not going to go fully into it. You can actually spot the liquidity here on the liquidation heat maps. Shout out to High Block Capital. Things like this. You can look at liquidation position maps. You can look at all different things to try to find liquidity. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to guess where people's stop losses are, right? So if everyone is shorting the top of this range, where's their stop loss going to be, right? Well, if they're using stop losses, we know that most retail, right? A very common retail strategy is to set your stop loss above the previous high, right? So if I'm short here, I'm going to put my stop loss right above this high, right? And then you have some people who don't use stop losses and they just have liquidation levels, right? And then depending on how high leverage you're using, their liquidation level is going to be slightly either closer or further away. Low leverage, your liquidation would be far. High leverage, your liquidation would be close. Either way, basically what this does is when price ranges like this, it builds up liquidity above, and not even above, but also below, right? Because people are also not only shorting the top of the range, but they're also longing the bottom of the range, right? Now, I know the bottom of the range is here, but I'm talking more about this kind of local price action right here. So you have liquidity above and liquidity below. This is where I use the order flow to try to figure out, or the heat maps to figure out where more of the liquidity is sitting. And then oftentimes what will happen is when all that retail, have you ever gotten into a position and then price stops you out and then goes the way you thought it was going to go anyway? Kind of similar to this, right? You get in, you're like, all right, I'm going to short the top of the range, and then it stops you out and then goes to the bottom of the range. This is a perfect example, right? This is what people say stop hunting, right? They're not trying to hurt you, right? They have much bigger fish to fry than like trying to hurt people. But market makers will do this to fill larger orders. There's many reasons to do it, but essentially you're looking for where people's stop losses are, and then you're not looking to short there, right? You're waiting. You can assume, hey, if there's liquidity likely living above these highs here, above this range, I'm going to wait for price to potentially come take that liquidity, because once you start stopping these people out and liquidating them, it causes a spike, because when you close a short, right, if you get stopped out or liquidated out of a short position, it creates a market buy, which causes price to push up, right? And this is where you see that push up to wreck the shorts. And then this is ideally where you want to enter your trade. And you can use things such as swing failure patterns to get on the right side. So oftentimes what we do is we wait for retail to get stopped out, and then we enter our short. And then, right, because at this point you're like, hey, I wanted to short here and go to the bottom of the range, but I just got stopped out. But look what happened right after. You went right to the bottom of the range. The reason for that likely was because all this liquidity got taken, and then you got the bigger move down. So there you go. Real quick explainer there on the little how to spot liquidity, right? There's much more to it than that. But generally, you're just looking for where people's stop losses are in the market. So with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I know we have a lot of a few other altcoins that we did not get to, Dogecoin and Aerodrome. Maybe I'll take a quick look at Aerodrome in the Frankie fake out, but that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Yeah, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you all for tuning in and sticking around till the end of the stream. Smash that like button on your way out. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Aerodrome potentially in 5 minutes, or 2 minutes after the Frankie fake out. But that's all I got. I'll see you guys next time. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
And we're back. taking a look at Aerodrome. Shout out to Div X-Ray. He was like, what does he mean by Frankie Fake Out? This is the Frankie Fake Out here. You think the stream's over, but it's not. We're back. What was I going to say? Shout out to Crypto Independent said, I put my stop order to buy where I would put my stop loss. It hits a lot. And I tell people, if you're getting stopped out right before the price goes in the direction you originally thought, more often than not, if you just enter your trade where you would have your stop loss, you will be shocked at how well that works. But as we take a look here at Aerodrome, obviously, we have rejected this little value area low golden pocket zone right here. Almost to look at the tap on that golden pocket. To the dollar. Almost. But obviously, I've gotten a little bit of a rejection. Look at the value area high of this range. Respected. Hang on one second. Let me mark out these levels real quick. So we have our value area high. Whoops. Our POC. Our value area low. Bada boom. There we go. Let me clean that up a bit. So this is definitely going to be your key level to the downside. We've already bounced off it one time. It's coming down to the daily. As you guys know, typically where it wicks, it goes, right? And here we are just filling that wick. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come down back to this value area low. Very key level. If we do not get a bounce off of here, you are simply going to look for acceptance back into the range. A move back down to the POC and the value area low. This is obviously on the daily, so it is a little wonked out as a range. But that is going to be what I would look for as far as levels to the downside. Other than that, I'll be honest, guys, there's really nothing else to look at here. Money flow is exactly the same as Bitcoin and all the other altcoins. The 2-day barely has any information, no money flow. But other than that, I am, no clear signals on what is going to happen here. I would be cautious of a push down to me. I would rather come down and physically tap these levels one more time before looking for an actual position, because I do not believe there is anything that significant where we are sitting right here. We've already taken out this naked daily point of control, but we have lost it, right? Take a look at the weekly. Yeah, we've already broken this weekly naked point of control. The next key zone, in my opinion, is definitely going to be, bada boom, right here, right? Very simply put, I would be looking at this as a zone. Bada boom, bada bing, right? So looking at that value area high weekly naked point of control. If we dipped back down into this area, I would look for longs. And then once you lose that weekly naked, that is kind of the invalidation for the long. And then you can look for a move back down to the POC and the value area low of that local range. Other than that, market cipher looks exactly the same as everything else. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I will see you all tomorrow, same place, same time. Thank you for hanging out to the end of the stream. Smash the like button on your way out. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out,